This is Rating Descending,
where we watch IMDb's Worst 250 so you don't have to.
My name is Abigail Ward.
And I'm Michelle St. Clair.
And tonight, we watched The Last Thing He Wanted. A veteran DC journalist loses the thread of her own narrative when a guilt-propelled errand for her father thrusts her from byline to unwitting subject in the very story she's trying to break, adapted from Joan Didion's namesake novel.
Oh my god.
Let's watch! Michelle, I run late here, and it's because I was driving in my little Fiat, which is such a comical car for me because I drive the tiniest car and yet I am the biggest person. I am so tall, Claude is so tall, and we lean in and out of our tiny little Italian sports car all the time.
I'm not going to lie. It's not like there's not a clown car element to it.
Every time I get in my car, I feel like I'm that character from The Simpsons where Nelson's like, and he's like, what did you say?
Yeah, I'm driving my automobile.
That's how I think of that guy every time I get in my automobile.
And he's my height. It's crazy.
But I was thinking, I was thinking about how bad every driver in the world is except for me. I am an exceptional driver and everyone's an idiot. And
sure,
it occurred
let's
to me
go with that
there's
narrative.
Just three kinds of drivers.
Okay.
There's indignant drivers like me that think they are the best drivers in the world.
Or
that are the best drivers in the world. There are just bad drivers like cowards.
Cowards. Okay, so indignant cowards. Yeah. Okay. This tracks so far.
And indignant comes with safe. Indignant is safe.
Sure.
As a driver. That's why they're indignant.
When I think of people who are really indignant and self-righteous on the road, I'm like, safety. But who's dangerous? Cowards.
Indignant's not unsafe or all over the road. Indignant is the person swearing from their car but staying in their lane. Then you've got cowards that stay in their lane and don't get indignant at all. And then you have just bad, angry drivers that are entitled to the roads.
I actually think cowards might be normal drivers and you're nuts.
No, I'm indignant. There's indignant, cowards, and angry. The three moods. Tag yourself.
Tag yourself. I'm coward.
I'm always indignant.
Yeah. I don't think it'll surprise any of the listenership to find out that I am coward driver.
Before I started saying this, I was telling Michelle before we started recording, and I was like, Michelle, I think there's three kinds of drivers. And she went, hang on, let's start recording because I'm absolutely sure you're about to say something stupid.
I was not wrong. I was not wrong. This is craziness. You can't, that's not, there's not... none of them are just normal drivers, I think is what the kicker is.
There's no normal drivers.
No, there's just self-righteous coward and evil.
Evil.
And evil.
But look, you can change. The spectrum is fluid. And
we're woke here. We're progressive. It's a fluid
we're not
spectrum.
trying to put you into a binary or a box.
Yeah, no.
And we know that there's probably far more kinds of drivers out there.
There's non-trinary drivers. It's like how conservatives have one joke and it's always I identify as, and it's something really stupid, which is irritating because I feel like when I'm with other trans people, we want to make jokes that if a conservative said it would be bigoted, but we're having fun. Yeah. It's different.
And today I was keenly aware. I was at work and I mentioned how I run the social committee at work. And I am keenly aware.
Ooh la la.
I know. We have recruited a bunch of new people in there, and I was saying happily and proudly to people, like, oh my God, the social committee's become full of queers. And then I stopped and I was like, if this was even just 10 years ago, that would be a bigoted statement. But now it's fuck yeah, full of queers. Yeah.
Seems like there's a bunch of queers around here.
This place reeks of queers.
Hey, Susan, did we hire a bunch of queers?
I didn't realize there was a bunch of queers down here.
I like how you're Southern gentleman.
I am. What do you call the little bull thing that you wear over your little...
Bolo tie?
Yes.
A bolo tie.
A bolo tie.
The one where it's the two strings?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bolo tie.
How does it even work? It's just something to keep your collar together. It's just decoration. I mean, okay, wait, hang on. A normal necktie doesn't keep your collar together. Why would a bolo tie have to do that? It's just a different style.
It does kind of keep you...
No, because your button keeps it together.
Yeah, but
You don't
I feel
need
like
the
when
tie.
people are wearing a bolo tie, they don't have their top button done up.
What? No, they do. They definitely do.
Wait, no, hang on.
Listeners, email us at ratingdescending@gmail.com.
With your favorite bolo ties. No, we're not moving on, all right? You've already described drivers as cowards or evil. We've got to at least get to the bottom of bolo tie. Oh, okay. No, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a different style.
Yeah. All right. Because like questioning the bolo tie is also questioning the necktie. They both serve the same purpose. It's decoration.
I don't know if they do. I mean...
They do.
Yeah, they do in that they're decoration.
Did I mention I'm indignant today? Don't fight me. Don't question me.
I'm not going to fight you because I'm a coward.
I'm really in a mood, Michelle. All right.
But our guest today is evil. Hello.
No, we've got coward on today. Oh, hey.
Boo-hoo, it's me, Droopy Dog.
I mean, that's you. You're coward.
Oh, come on.
But you said that already.
Yeah, but when you say it, it's bigoted.
Oh, what?
Whoa, that's transphobic.
Whoa, this social committee is full of cowards. Man, 10 years ago, that would have been bigoted.
You're just an indignant queer.
And you're just a coward queer.
There's a lot of straight listeners who are like laughing along kind of nervously of like, am I allowed?
Hey, what are you listening to? Nothing?
Nothing
about queers and cowards?
They're in on it.
No, they're queer. They're queer, I swear. You know what? Energy's gone. I'm just going to head.
Oh,
I'm just going to hit the road.
Oh, come on, you coward.
No, I'm indignant. Speaking of indignant.
Hey, that's a good pivot.
And boy, am I indignant. Like, if you've noticed I've come in here with a lot of energy, it's because, guys, this is a weird one.
Yeah.
This film is, I'm just going to say it, all right? Oh, I didn't even say what we were watching. Guys, this week we watched The Last Thing He Wanted.
Yeah.
And I think it's straight up the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Straight up, I think it might be the worst thing I've ever seen. Like College Road Trip, better than this. Zoolander 2, better than this. Sex and the City 2,
no,
better than this.
Oh my god,
better than this.
Have we finally done it? We've
because
hit a new floor on this podcast.
We have, because you know how like I physically wanted to harm myself while watching Sex and the City 2?
This is a TM. This is a not TM. Trademarked.
You know how I pushed my head into a pillow and screamed watching Sex and the City 2?
Yeah.
I like was trying to throttle myself watching this film. Like I was like anxiously kneading my palms. I was like sweating, and I was looking up research about it, being like, how the fuck am I supposed to do anything with this movie?
when like 5 to 10 minutes in, I was going, oh man, we've had this, as we keep saying, we've had a real hot streak where this episode is right off the back of Highlander 2, one of my favorite things we've watched.
That was a strong point.
Yeah, and I was like, damn,
this is a low.
This is coming to a screeching halt. This is just a boring movie.
But the thing is,
it made me think of Exposed.
Yeah, but the thing is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, here's what we usually have. Like, I'm riled up. Okay, I'm angry.
No, I'm keen for this.
I'm not indignant anymore. Now I'm evil. I watch this, and usually we have like in the bad movie world, you either watch like a really bad movie and it bores you, and to the point where you're a bit deflated. You're like, boy, I don't know what to say about this. Or you watch a bad film that's so bad it makes you happy and like it makes you like just overjoyed.
Yeah,
Highlander 2.
Joyous, supreme experience.
But this is one of the first times that I've watched a boring bad movie, but instead of becoming deflated, I've become angry and I've become strung out.
Yes.
Because let me paint the scene for you guys. I'm a busy woman. I'm a busy gal.
Yeah.
And I had to go to work today, and I knew I had to record with you. So I woke up early to watch the movie to make sure that I could record with you tonight.
Oh, God.
So I started my day at 6:30 a.m.
Oh, my God.
watching this 2 hour
oh my God.
pile of trash.
Okay, look, I like as a side note though, hey, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You did it.
Thank you.
You did it.
Michelle, why are we doing this? Is it worth it? I don't know. I'm like, this movie's made me question everything. Do we, like, come here, do we really want to
let's lean in.
do we really want to spend our lives doing this shit? Like, I don't know, man. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. You know what I could have done?
Yeah.
My loving partner was lying in bed, looking so spoonable. He's so sweet, so soft. He was calling for me. I said, I have to get up. I have to go. I have to get up and watch this movie. And he was like, no, stay in bed. And I was like, no, I'm not going to stay in bed with you, love of my life that I adore and would cherish. I'm going to get up, sit on the couch in the dark and watch this Netflix disaster and be away from you and sit in my own filth, unwashed.
Why were you unwashed?
Because I just woke up.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah.
I hadn't even had a coffee.
And famously, you writhe around in mud when you go to sleep.
I sleep in mud.
Yeah. That makes sense. But
The mud queen.
I understand you. This is my day off, and I was like, okay, this is the last chance. I gotta. This is my day off.
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta watch it. I'll watch it for lunch. It'll be fine. I can watch it with my sweet, lovely girlfriend,
Who you cherish.
who I cherish
So
very
sweet, so
deeply.
soft.
And then about 5 minutes in, she was like, I gotta go, and I was like, I can't.
I'm legally obliged.
Contractually, we're obliged.
Just
With you.
do we want to do this?
Why are we
Why
doing
are we
this?
doing this?
It's-
Like, we watch this every week. Like, we do this every week.
Every
And
week.
sometimes it's fun. Like last week, I had a great time.
The other
This
day-
week, I have to question: is it worth it?
We've had a lot of really good things recently, right?
Yeah.
Like we've started getting a lot more attention on Twitter and TikTok. We got recently featured on a Pocket Casts playlist.
It's amazing. Shit's taking off.
Yeah, we're going places.
But
at
is it
the
worth
same time, I was feeling despondent of like, man, I feel like we're already so far through it and there's such a defined endpoint.
Yeah.
And then a friend reminded me, you're not even 2 years through. And I'm
No,
like,
we're not halfway through.
we're not even 2/5.
No.
Oh
And,
my God.
If there's more mornings that I have to sacrifice time with my beloved to watch Netflix trash, is it worth it? Anyway, so this film was this film fucked me up.
Yeah. I didn't see it. To finish what I was saying, first 10 minutes, I was like, okay, our hot streak is coming to a screeching halt. This is just going to be like boring, like Siberia, right?
Yeah.
There's like moody piano. There's actors who are trying so hard to act their heart out that it kind of curves around and becomes bad acting,
Yeah.
even though everyone's doing not a bad performance. You know what I mean?
I had Anne Hathaway do a bad performance. I feel like she just had a bad script.
Yeah.
And it was just a bad performance.
The kind
Yeah.
of thing that is like, it's like it's coming from a play that you would make fun of. You know,
Yeah.
people sitting there with cigarettes going, it's pretty hard. You know, I remember Mom when she was out there, you know. Yeah.
Hang on. I noted this down because I thought the opening was so comical. I had to take note of what she was saying.
fucking
Because,
gibberish.
hey, the beginning of it really paints the scene that
Yeah.
you are never going to understand what goes on in this movie, ever.
It pitched a different movie.
It pitched a different movie, and the dialogue is so dramatic and it's farcical. The dialogue, it is.
Yeah.
You cannot take it seriously, and it is badly performed. Just to top things off,
But I love Anne Hathaway.
I know I love Anne Hathaway too, and it's got Ben Affleck.
Theater kid from my own heart. Ben
had
Affleck
fucking
is
Toby
fine when he's a character role.
Jones.
Toby Jones was.
I love Toby Jones.
yeah.
It had a good cast.
Willem Dafoe.
Dafoe.
I mean, we'll come back to it, but like for all of the negatives of this movie, his drip was amazing. His like maroon plaid
what the
blazer.
kids are calling it now?
Yeah,
His drip?
his fit. Oh my God.
I'm glad
Holy
TikTok is
shit.
keeping you in the loop.
Ooh, baby.
So this is the first lines of the film. Just listeners, just to paint the scene for you. Some real things have happened lately. First, I wanted to know who chose money over life, steel and lead over blood and spirit. Who was it overlooked the living? Who let distance and basic difference decide whose man was left behind bleeding out and whose men made it to safety? Who the war pig? Who the profiteer? Who the cold heart? The vapid soul? And second, I wanted to know why. That's the opening monologue. I can tell you that I almost wrote that word for word when I was 14, pouring my heart out into my diary that I then burned so my brother couldn't read.
Wow.
Yeah, he was very nosy.
The whole movie reads as someone going, makes you think, huh? After they've just finished saying the least, like, the most absolute nonsense you've ever heard in your life.
And Anne Hathaway just sucking down a cigarette. And I have to say, I think she
She's
was
trying.
appealed. She's trying.
And I think, so hard.
I think she was drawn to the project because she got to play a character that was assertive and dominant and spoke her mind. Like her character on paper, is a great female character and female lead. She knows what she wants.
Yeah.
She tries really hard. She has a daughter that she loves. There's heaps of elements that you think should work. But there's just nothing. There's no sense to the plot. I'm outraged. I'm actually like getting worked up talking about it again.
I a few episodes ago, especially in Wing Commander, declared like most of the time when we watch movies and stuff and there's any lore, I am usually always able to absorb and explain it, right?
Take me back to the Wing Commander days.
But
that was a good time.
I
had
am
a great time.
usually so good at explaining what's going on. I can't even begin to understand what was, because at the beginning I was like, okay, seems like it's something about like the Contra, what was it? What's that? Contra conspiracy in the Reagan administration, and she's like a reporter. I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be like Spotlight, but about Contra and more overdramatic. Okay, but then it's just like 50 other things at the same time.
Yeah, because it's also about her dad that she has to take care of, and her dad is an arms dealer, and she's also got a daughter in boarding school. But I have to say, I mean, I looked up what that scandal, what the Contra Iran like deal was.
Yeah.
And there was so much information to look into that I couldn't even like. I love doing research for this podcast, but I looked, I started looking into that and I was like, I can't even begin to fathom how I'm meant to ingest all of that information for a very particular political deal that happened in the 80s and 70s, and how I can make a nuanced take on it in my stupid comedy podcast. Like, how am I meant to... I don't know how to handle that. And so I was like, you know what? All right, leave that to one side. I don't need to know the ins and outs of that political...
No, Abigail, I want your take on the Iran-Contra conflict.
Finally! But I was like, at least I can comment on the movie and the plot. No, because viewers, here's another reason that I'm losing my fucking mind. I don't really have an overview.
I feel like
I don't have an overview.
But I was like, I was trying so hard. This is the movie equivalent of like a camera that's looking at something and then it drifts away. Yeah. Right? Every time I realized I was like, I'm not looking at it, I would look back at it.
Michelle, look at me. Look at me.
Okay.
I came here so desperate to be able to explain the plot of this film to you.
I really want to know.
I don't know. I don't know.
And you looked it up.
I did. I read it. I read the synopsis and I was like, what? And then I went and I read it again and I was like, what? And then I was like, Michelle's going to be so mad at me. And then... viewers, for the first time ever, I don't have an overview. I have like the tiniest summary, but I don't have an overview.
Because I
don't have an overview.
We'll pivot into the overview on that, right? I obviously, guys, you got it, guys, please. Guys, please stay. There's going to be more.
I have things to say.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you about the movie.
It seemed like it was about the Contras, and then suddenly it was exclusively about the arms dealer thing, and then it seemed to be about some man who was around when she was a kid, and then it was about Ben Affleck as a spy,
and then it was about her daughter again,
and then it was about the daughter, but then it was still about the Contras or something else in Guatemala, and then it seems like in order she went to every single faction going, that other faction I've just realized is against me, and then realized that the faction she just went to was also against her until she ends up with Ben Affleck, who then shoots her and then confesses it to Congress or something. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I don't know, but I can tell you some general information.
Let's do it. I've never seen you so desperate.
I've never not delivered an overview. This film broke me, and I was like, maybe it's because it's 6:30 a.m. So what I did, because I care about you and the podcast and the listeners, is that on my lunch break today, I sat down and I tried to rewatch some scenes. I looked up the overview. I thought I could string a vague plot together, and I was like, it wasn't just me at the time. It's just this movie. The movie is the problem.
Yeah. I mean, we've I think we introduced overviews in like the 4th episode, specifically because we didn't want to do Zoolander 2 scene by scene like we'd done for the first 3, right?
Yeah, exactly. Overviews are great.
Since then, we've always done it.
A little bite-sized piece.
Not today.
Not today. Guys, we're going rogue, all right?
We're going rogue.
This film calls for drastic fucking reactions.
Yeah, no, I'll just like throw in all of the music at once, right?
Okay, so... just a bit of general info. It was made in 2020. It's a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
It had 4.2 stars on IMDb. And it was directed by Dee Reese. And Dee Reese, and I feel like you can almost tell because of how on paper the lead character is a really quite interesting female protagonist to have. You can almost feel that it wasn't written by a man. Dee Reese is a black and gay screenwriter and director.
Hell yeah.
And it makes me upset that this film not only was terrible, but broke me in mind, body, and spirit. Because I want to support this woman so fucking bad. And look, she has apparently done some great work. I remember, like, I read that she was also like, and she was like the first black woman who was nominated for an Oscar for an adapted screenplay. And I'm a screenwriter. That's fucking huge. That's exciting.
That's really cool.
I'm wearing this still. But yeah, that's an amazing achievement. And I've had a look through her filmography, and she made this amazing film in 2011 called Pariah about being a queer black woman.
Hell yeah.
Very autobiographical. Seems like it got great reviews. And then she did a couple of other films that I'm not too sure about the reviews. She did a film called Mudbound, and then she did The Last Thing He Wanted. Yeah.
I think, by the way, I actually think somehow we have actually promoted more female directors than Marvel has.
There you go.
Because there's actually been a shocking amount of women on this list.
And look, you know that Marvel is our main competitor as a podcast. So,
yeah. I'm just saying they can do better.
Oh my God, Mudbound has amazing reviews.
Oh, cool.
Amazing
reviews. I thought
reviews.
So. It sounded like indie darling that I recognized.
She also did a fucking HBO TV film about Bessie Smith, who was a queer black singer from the 20s and 30s. What was it called? Who was part of the Harlem Renaissance. It was called Bessie, which is really exciting.
Cool. That's really cool.
And it was for HBO, and it had amazing fucking reviews, and it had Queen Latifah playing Bessie.
This movie was gibberish, but at the beginning, even my sweet girlfriend that I love so much, Brooke, pointed out like some of the directorial choices were interesting and good. It's not like it was.
I think the cinematography was stunning because what I read about Dee Reese is that Dee Reese gets really fixated on the visuals of her films to the point where she can spend an hour just trying to fix up one shot before they shoot it. So she's really particular visually, and she's done amazing work.
But I think every hour that was spent doing that on set should have been spent in the edit room going, we got to cut some scenes out.
We got to just write a different movie because this is gibberish.
We gotta. Why don't we use the VO to explain anything? I don't even think that's a good screenwriting move. But if you're gonna do it,
I just usually voiceover. It's exposition. It explains something that you could show through like shots and through visuals, but sometimes they explain it because they realize it's too confusing. They want to clear things up for you. They want to clarify things. This movie. Somehow the voiceover made everything so much more confusing.
Oh yeah, way more confusing. A good example of good voiceover is the movie Adaptation, right? Where we're hearing Charlie Kaufman, his internal monologue, and then, rather Nicolas Cage playing Charlie Kaufman. And like one of my favorite examples of it is where he's just gone on this like cute date with this woman, and then she's like about to leave, and we hear the voiceover going like, you should yell out to her, like you should kiss her, you should say something to her. It'll be really sweet. And then he just like keeps looking, and then he drives away. And like we would get it, but with the voiceover, it's so much more tragic.
Yeah.
It's a great use of voiceover.
Yeah, that is.
Excellent.
That's a creative use of voiceover.
Really great. Guys,
it's not expositional, it's character revealing.
Adaptation is really fun.
So this was directed by Dee Reese. It was also written by Dee Reese and a man called Marco Villalobos, and it starred Anne Hathaway, Willem Dafoe, Ben Affleck, Rosie Perez. And Rosie Perez is fantastic. I mean, the first thing I ever saw her in was fucking Pineapple Express as Gary Cole's like girlfriend.
Yes.
I loved her in that.
That's why Oh, who fucked this up? Because all of that talent is amazing. Also, was Rosie Perez, I didn't understand, was she a co-worker or her wife?
Co-worker.
Okay.
I thought.
Okay. I was really hoping it was her wife.
I mean,
it wouldn't be wife because it's, oh yeah. Well, but why she took? Okay, I was about to ask you a question about the plot.
Because I mean, like Dee Reese loves.
Also, they wouldn't have been allowed
cinema.
to get married.
Yeah, this was my overview, and I just took it from Wikipedia, and it's like 2 sentences long.
What?
I don't have an overview.
No, okay, no. You told me I'm not angry. I'm surprised. I'm not angry.
Now I'm coward.
I'm disappointed.
Now I'm coward, and now you're indignant.
Now I'm indignant. And I'm about to get evil.
Here's my overview. A journalist for the fictitious Atlantic Post stops her coverage of the 1984 US presidential election to care for her dying father. In the process, she inherits his position as an arms dealer for Central America and learns of the Iran-Contra affair. That's all I got. I don't get it.
I mean, that's already... Okay, so I thought it was based off of real events, but I guess it's not.
It's not.
Okay, so, I mean, she's working for... It sounds like we want to just make it The Atlantic. We'll add the word Post to the end.
Well, how can we do a mix of Washington Post and the Atlantic? Oh!
I got it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, okay.
Michelle, do you forgive me?
I forgive you.
Michelle, do you forgive me?
I do forgive you.
I'm just a little baby.
Yeah, I know.
I woke up at 6:30 a.m.
Because I knew... Hey... You're trying your hardest.
Hold my hand.
Hey.
Is it okay?
Hey, I've been so proud of you.
Thank
especially recently. You're trying so hard.
Thanks so
You're doing it. We're doing this. We're making this podcast.
All right, now I'm indignant again.
Oh my god. Now I'm coward.
Oh, Michelle, hold my hand. Oh my
baby. I'm trying so hard.
This is actually what we're like off mic.
Oh my god.
This is all a persona. Really? Will we do baby?
Okay, wait. So I look.
I don't want to talk about
This is gonna be.
No, I don't want to talk about it.
No.
No comment.
Come on. We gotta. Okay, this is maybe the least interesting angle, but I just want to try for at least a moment to make sense of it. So you're right. That is the premise. Okay, so she was covering the polls and stuff because then she has the phone call with the editor. You know when all the phones are on the floor?
Yeah.
For like.
And she just yells at him.
I don't know what. Yeah.
Non-stop. I'm like, he's your boss. You gotta.
Well,
you gotta be nice.
It's
to
the
this dude.
80s. Unions had power. I feel like now bosses are oof, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought she was like already investigating the Iran-Contra thing before the dad started dying.
Too. I didn't realize she learnt about it.
And then
this person, I mean, this is the Wikipedia review. Did someone else just not get it?
Was his arms deal to do with the Iran-Contra conflict, or was it just also in Guatemala? Is she in Guatemala the whole time?
I don't know.
Because she's somewhere tropical.
Yeah.
She's like... Abby just gave me the most terrified face.
No, I'm not. I'm just not liking these questions. I'm feeling attacked.
Because she was in Guatemala at one point. She is near airports and airplanes several times, and it's really hard to figure out whether she's gotten on the plane or not.
I would love if they just reminded us occasionally where she is.
Yeah.
Made a comment.
I think the bit for me that started to really lose me, right? The bit that I stopped going, oh, this is like bad Oscar bait movie that is about something important, and what is this?
Yeah.
Was she's agreed to do the arms deal for her dad.
Yeah.
Also, fully unhinged decision.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't understand why you're doing this for him. She's like, fuck you, dad. You're a bad dad. Okay, I'll do this arms deal for you.
If I was a respected reporter reporting like in Washington, I wouldn't then do an international arms deal for my dad because I feel bad. Anyway, she gets off the plane to do the arms deal, I guess, and she talks to some guy who has the weirdest style of speaking, and then he starts singing that song Paladin, which I thought was funny because I'm like, you've shown me that song before.
I love that song. And the reason I like that song is that the boys sing it in Stand By Me when they're walking down the train tracks, and they're all singing Paladin, Paladin, where do you roam? I was annoyed that they ended the film with it as well. I was like, fuck off. This film broke me.
He starts just singing it at her while she looks confused, and then he walks away as she goes, wait, when am I getting paid? And then she asks it to someone else, and they're like, just leave. And she's like, wait, I guess she's not getting paid. And then that starts her, succession of just moving from place to place.
Yeah. Also, sorry,
assumedly on the run from the arms dealers?
I couldn't tell you.
No, I'm so sorry. There's no way to know.
There's truly no way to decipher it. Wait, I was just gonna say.
Okay, yeah.
This is my impersonation of Anne Hathaway in the film.
Yeah.
This is a scene of her yelling at her boss about him taking a story from her.
Yeah.
And then also, I'll just describe it. So this is like how she performs. She goes, "What the fuck do you mean you're taking my story from me? Okay, I've worked my fucking ass off. I'm down there in the hallway all the time. All right, my daughter is in boarding school and I have no plane to Guatemala. Okay." And then she sucks on a fake cigarette and then she walks out of the scene. She like slams the phone down and then she looks out of a window broodingly for a long time, observes something inane that we have no idea what it's meant to suggest.
Yeah.
And then she calls her daughter and she's like, "How are you? I miss you.
I want Dad.
What has your dad got that I don't?
I want to go back to Malibu."
I know that you're nodding, okay? I know that you love me. I'll be home soon. And then she hangs up and then she calls someone else and she starts either threatening them or yelling again. And that is the vicious cycle of this film. And you have no idea how any of these events are linked.
Yeah, because at one point she's at one of the myriad hotels she goes to, and then she starts getting like shot at, or the hotel starts getting shot at. And there's this guy who saves her.
Yeah.
And is like explaining to her why it was stupid that she didn't leave, or or why it was stupid that she tried to leave. Either one of those completely opposite things. But then the next scene, realizes that he is trying to kill her, or he's not. And so then she runs away from him to Ben Affleck, who I guess is a spy. Did we know he was a spy at the beginning?
No,
or was he a senator?
I think he was meant to be a senator, and then
he working for a senator?
The whole reveal at the end is that Ben Affleck, like he shoots her in the chest at the end of the film, and you see this almost montage sequence of finding out that he was behind a bunch of shit, and you're like, but I don't know why. I don't know why he. Well, who is he? Is this meant to be a reveal?
It was like getting the answer to a mystery that I didn't understand literally any element of.
And they also introduced his character halfway through the film. So the first half of the film, he's nowhere to be seen, nowhere to be found. Yeah. All of a sudden he pops up and then he meets her.
Well, he was at the beginning.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in like the Senate hearing and around with the Washington types.
Okay. Well, he and her don't meet until 3/4 of the way through the film.
Yeah.
They don't meet at that bar until like an hour and a half in.
But he's around.
Okay, but barely.
I think she knows who he is.
I feel
especially because if you said Rosie Perez is his wife.
No, I didn't say that she was his wife in it.
Who is? Oh, you said they were sleeping. Who was she?
No, Rosie Perez. No, the main character sleeps with Ben Affleck's character.
Yeah.
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 But Rosie Perez has nothing to do with Ben
Rosie
Affleck.
Perez then?
I have no idea. Okay. I don't know.
Was that her at the end wearing like a Guatemalan police uniform or something?
I'm just going to keep my body in a shrug position because you're not getting the message.
I don't know why I keep asking you to clarify things. I hated the ending so much because, she goes to him as like the final like, oh, I figured out Toby Jones, who is introduced with no explanation.
I don't know who he was.
No idea who he is. He seems to be having a great time in Guatemala.
Oh, and he's also having a great time. Like he's overperforming to the limit. Which I wish I knew.
I love when they give Toby Jones the opportunity to do that. Like in the episode of Doctor Who he's in. Fucking great. Did you ever seen Barbarian? What was it? Barbarian Sound Factory? Oh my God. Incredible. If you want to see Toby Jones as like a leading man,
I do.
It's so good.
Especially because he's so like counter leading man. He's so not the normal leading man. But the thing is, like, this film doesn't give you a chance. This film doesn't give you a fighting chance because they think that if they vomit their lines out really quickly, as if they're in like a fucking walk and talk scene in a Sorkin like TV show, that we'll think it's really smart, but you're not making people feel really smart when you're leaving them out of the conversation at all. People don't feel good when you do that. They start feeling ostracized and alienated. And as a viewer, I felt alienated. I felt like the director was being like, see how smart I can be? And I'm like, you just look fucking dumb. You look stupid.
It's the thing I've seen students do.
Yeah.
Where they get told by someone that exposition is to be avoided. And so what they do is they just get really cagey with telling the audience anything.
Yeah.
And like, which is crazy because of how expository this movie is. I think it was like expositional for every piece of emotion that was happening and never telling you what was actually happening. So she's like, I'm sad and frustrated. This thing makes me angry. I remember that thing with my mom and it makes me sad. And I'm like, sure, but what? What is happening?
Yeah. You know what is really the icing, the cherry on top of this offensive cake?
Yeah.
It was like 2 hours long.
Yeah, it was long.
Like, I can tolerate it if it's, maybe I could, if it's 90 minutes, but it was 2 hours.
It was 2 hours.
My time is valuable. That's why, again, are we sure we're doing the right thing? Like, imagine the 2 hours we could have spent with our loved ones, cherishing them.
Sometimes, I think the downside of the hot streak that we've been on is I think it's been giving the audience the impression that this podcast is fun.
It's not. But
this is hell.
You gotta endure a bit of rain to get a rainbow.
Nice. I was gonna
Dolly
poke a
Parton.
hole, but that was okay. You didn't even say. You didn't even, okay. Well, yeah, sure. All right. Yeah. She's pretty smart. Yeah, it's a pretty good quote.
It's not. Look, this podcast. It's not that it's not fun, but it is a legal obligation that we are contractually obliged to fulfill. It definitely reminded me of that this morning.
This is a Sisyphean nightmare, and we are the gatekeepers to mix my metaphors immediately.
Michelle, if you want to leave at any point,
we can't. Scared. It is like we are trapped in a labyrinth, and we are also the puzzle master. Yeah. We are simultaneously the Perseus trapped in the labyrinth and the Minotaur trying to find him and hunt him down. Yeah. We're just trapped. There's no getting out of this.
I don't even feel like a Minotaur in a labyrinth. I feel like a labyrinth in a Minotaur.
Well, then it's just an empty labyrinth, though.
Yeah, but I'm in a Minotaur. There's no getting out of that.
But that's cooler. That's cooler, though.
Exploring a Minotaur.
Yeah, being in a Minotaur. Yeah.
Even this, look at it. This conversation's great. Fun. Way better than the film. But
it feels a little bit like I'm in a maze and I'm a centaur.
Like I'm in a display home.
Oh my God. God damn it. Okay, wait. I just want to clarify. Toby Jones, who was just living it up in Guatemala, suddenly some guy with a wide jaw and stubble arrives. And then Anne Hathaway has a series of flashbacks where she realizes that some guy doesn't exist and that this guy is named Bill. And that probably is bad. Mm-hmm. Don't know. And then she runs away on the beach. Mm-hmm. And then I think she runs to Ben Affleck. Mm-hmm. And then that's where she's like, yeah, I found Bill or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it suddenly cuts to she's on the edge of a cliff. And then Ben Affleck explaining in Congress why he shot her. Mm-hmm. Where it's clearly a lie. It's the last thing he wanted to happen. Mm-hmm. And then she falls off a cliff and she ostensibly explains it. And then she dies, which means the movie was about a mystery that she didn't solve. Yeah. And then she died.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you want to hear some trivia?
Anything. IMDb trivia! It's like you have, when a snake, what's it called? They've shed their skin, or a cicada. What's that called? Shed? Is it just shedding?
No, yeah. When a snake sheds its skin, it's called a cicada.
What is it? Is it just called shedding when a cicada gets out of its...
Snake.
You have emerged. It's like you have emerged from your chrysalis, but it is only once the butterfly moves away that you realize that your consciousness is still in the chrysalis and you're now trapped as an empty shell.
Oh my God, that'd
watching
be
the
terrifying.
Butterfly fly away.
Oh my God, I hate that.
That's us now. No. That's it. We're there. That's terrifying. We're there, baby.
Oh wow, that's a lot of pus in my eye.
This is like a writer's... Jesus. Are you smelling it?
It smells weird.
I'm going to keep all of this.
No! I only have 2 pieces of trivia.
That's more than I expected when you said you had no overview.
Ben Affleck.
You sound so excited just saying Ben Affleck.
Replaced Nicolas Cage.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine Nicolas Cage showing up in this? I mean, it still wouldn't save anything, but it'd be fun.
I feel so conflicted because on the one hand, he did the role well enough where it made me go, yeah, this is a Ben Affleck role, right? The kind of thing, because he's really good at doing that. It's the same role in Gone Girl, but this is the reverse.
Yeah.
And even things like Last Duel, right? Where he's really good at playing roles where he seems nice and slimy at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? He's you always think he's maybe a dirtbag, but he's not being a dirtbag. That's just
Ben Affleck's vibe.
Yeah.
Because you see, you hear good things about him, like him and Jennifer Garner, when they were together, had a fucking wholesome relationship. They were very devoted to each other. They remained friends. But you see photos of him, smoking outside of sets, and you're like, surely you've done something fucked up,
But
right?
that's why I think he's a bad leading man.
Yeah.
Is because you never really, put your whole faith into him. And that's why he's really good in Gone Girl. It's like a movie written for Ben Affleck. It's like, this guy is perfectly nice and we all don't trust him.
Your accent, to me, is often more American than Australian in a lot of ways.
I've been told that.
But then when you say Gone Girl, it's suddenly so much more Australian. You're like,
Gone Girl?
Gone Girl? Gone Girl. It's like the only time you sound
Gone
proper
Girl?
Australian. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, Gone Girl. Gone Girl?
Gone Girl.
Oh, yeah. It's called Gone.
But
It's the Walkabout Sheila. That's what we call it in Australia.
So on the one hand, I think Ben Affleck was actually a good choice for this role. And I think that him and Anne Hathaway, that's a hot white couple. But I think if there's anything this movie needed, it's some crazy Nicolas Cage energy.
Oh, 100%. It actually would have improved it, maybe, I think. Here's my second and last piece of trivia. This film was infamously noted as being the lowest rated movie on Netflix.
Wow.
And that's saying something because Netflix has fucking garbage
makes
on it.
a lot of garbage.
Yeah.
Like a lot of real bottom of the barrel
And that's
rubbish.
the thing, like we've talked about this. What we don't like is when I will happily support a film that knows what it is and knows that it's silly and doesn't take itself seriously. This film is so opposite to that. It's taking itself so chronically seriously.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for it.
People misuse the term Oscar bait to mean anything that's good and not a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Especially on Twitter. People go like, fucking, they're living it like West Side Story is Oscar bait. It's like, it's just a good movie that's not about superheroes. This is Oscar bait where it's like trying to be so important and all of the actors are like clearly pimping for their reel, but it's not good. There's not a good movie there.
Yeah.
You know?
100%.
I feel like even though everyone involved in this is talented, but I don't think any of them liked this.
No, I think that I have this feeling that they all read the script and were equally confused by it, but thought, but it sounds smart.
Did it get rearranged in post? Because I think more than anything,
couldn't tell ya.
Whoever the editor is needs to be fired. This is the worst, like, rough cut I've ever seen. This is a bunch of absolute gibberish.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you could rearrange some of it to make something make more sense. But there's so many crazy decisions in post.
Yeah. It's like they want to keep you in the dark. And hey, I get that this is meant to be like a mystery and that mysteries have things that do not have answers in it for a large amount of the film. I'm fine with that. I'm fine if you're trying to leave us hanging. I'm fine if you're trying to build suspense and if there's questions that don't have answers yet. I'm okay with that. But this film never had an answer in its back pocket. You know, it was like, what if? And what's that?
Knives
and now
Out is
she
a
gets
mystery.
shot.
Yeah. It's frustrating. And also, we didn't talk about it, but the score is terrible. Was this the same composer as Siberia? Because it's the same sort of like deflationary, twinkly piano bullshit.
Yeah.
It sounds bad.
It sounds shit.
Guys, stop it. The only person I've known who gets away with like piano with a lot of reverb as 90% of the score is Carter Burwell, but that's because he does it in really interesting ways.
Carter Burwell is fantastic.
Oh my God.
He's a genre spanner.
Yeah.
Do you want to hear some reviews?
Yes, please.
Reviews! This film had 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
That doesn't surprise. I'm surprised 5% of reviewers were like, yeah, this is fine.
The site's critical consensus reads, it'll be the last thing most viewers want to. Which is sick.
God, what I love is how many movie critics have a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Nick Allen, a critic for RogerEbert.com,
Hey.
called the film incomprehensible to an almost impressive degree.
I kind of agree.
A true Netflix original film paradox. Not even a pause and rewind button at the ready will help it make much sense.
Yeah. No, they're right.
Yeah.
It is kind of like, I've watched movies that even if they're gibberish, like, I even said it earlier in this episode. I pride myself on being able to pass what the fuck is going on in a movie, right?
Yeah.
I even you might remember in the back in the my hosted bad movie days, the now Halcyon legendary
You're
days.
on top of the shit, man. You the Wing Commander episode, you fucking knew everything.
But back in those like bad movie days, not only was I frequently the explainer, but we even went through the Pirates of the Caribbean movies just because I had questions about the second and third movies not quite making sense. the answer to my specific question of why it didn't make sense was the third one's badly written.
I'm relieved because I was worried I'd walk into this being like, I didn't get it. And you'd be like, oh, I got it. And I'd be like, what?
No, we're
in this together.
We're totally in this together. I have no idea what is happening.
Stephanie Zacharek from Time Magazine wrote, the last thing he wanted seems so taken with its own intricacy that it manages only to trip itself up.
Yeah.
And Tom Meek of Cambridge Day wrote, the sense of tension and the stakes remain high from frame to frame. It's just what connects them that is often absent.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
She's building tension and suspense quite well, but we never know what it's about. We never know what the stakes are.
I know that Anne Hathaway is more and more frightened.
Yeah.
I don't know of whom or why.
Yeah.
But she seems more scared. I can't even begin to understand this fucking movie.
Here are some IMDb reviews.
Hell yeah.
This review is a 10 out of 10 review. The subject line is 188th residual thoughts. This was left by Cat Pantry.
Okay. Love it. I'm a fan of a pantry of cats.
I'm really glad they nabbed Cat Pantry as a username.
That's a
Didn't
good
even
get.
need a digit. When a person finds themselves in a tight space between two barns in the quietness, some natural thoughts would probably form. In 1922, a woman standing in the middle of an open farm built the human form out of any surrounding material, then put her hand on its face. A horse arrived and rode her sculpture off into the distance as the woman watched. Later, the woman is shown shaving her legs by the wake, wearing a tremendously serious face.
What?
10 out of 10.
What?
Yeah, reading this review has the same effect as watching the movie.
Did that person have a stroke? Was that an algorithm writing a poem? What the fuck?
Was that Dee Reese leaving a review?
I think we watched AI gain sentience. Oh, they're smarter than us now. Shit.
This review is 10 out of 10, left by Lara Honeycutt. Great name.
Cool. Great name.
Subject is, this is not for ignoramus dum-dums.
Oh, God. Okay.
I see people had problems with this film. However, obviously they have no brains or just an 8th grade education. This thriller is not only important to the work of the 80s, but to the true nature of the actuality of shot that really happened. Thank you for such an intriguing and intellectual movie. Bravo for not being predictable. 10 out of 10.
I could have done for an ounce of predictability. That review was mean.
And this review is a 10 out of 10 review left by Abu Bakery Yusufe.
Okay, cool.
And the subject is, Ben Affleck is back.
Oh, yeah.
The boys are back in town. The boys are back in town. Just watched the movie and gotta say, the man is back with his charm and phenomenal performances again. I love how they said the man. Yeah. After seeing this, I'm a whole lot excited for his upcoming projects. If he will be Batman nowadays, he could have done billions-dollar Batman movie for sure. But bad luck, 10 out of 10.
I love this person's commitment to Ben Affleck to the degree to watch this movie and pitch it as a Ben Affleck movie.
Yeah.
He's barely in it.
The man is back.
He's back, and he's a great Batman.
Hey, Michelle, I want to get on with my life. Was that review.
Yeah.
What's your review?
I agree with the critic that it is almost impressive, right? Like I said, I pride myself on normally being able to understand movies, and I can't even begin to interpret what was going on. It's bad. What I'm rubbing up against is how much do I want to stick to my previously established standard. 2 is it's like a movie, because this is like a movie, but if you rearranged every scene into a different order, right? But it's still like a movie, right? But it's also, it really deserves this being the lowest so far.
It's definitely... It's like a mirage of a movie.
Yeah.
It looks like a movie, and then you put any kind of substance through it and it ripples and disintegrates, and you're like, what?
This is actually one of those few times in the list where you're like, yeah, the order makes sense. This is lower than everything.
This is definitely the worst thing I've seen so far.
I don't know. I kind of want to just give it a 2, but maybe I'm just going to give it a 0.9.
Generous.
Oh, whatever I gave Black Christmas, this is like +1.
Yeah.
Because that really upset me.
Yeah. 0. So that was.
Not surprising.
I need not explain.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
fair.
wasting any more time of my life on this stupid movie. D. Reese, I think I still respect you, especially as a queer black filmmaker that's had a notable success. Fucking kudos. But how dare you take 2 hours of my life away? I mean, it's all on me. But how dare you? 0. So, Michelle, that was our reviews. Guys, don't forget to give us a follow on social media. We are on TikTok under Rating Descending or on Twitter under Rate Descend Pod. You can also email us at ratingdescending@gmail.com.
We love the emails. We'll read them out if you want.
Please get in touch. We're so lonely. Make this worth it. All right? Make this worth it.
Okay, what Abby said is true. It's just normally much more like hidden behind layers of subtext. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
But also you could find us on our own social medias for the same reasons. You can find me, though, on Instagram and Twitter at michelle.stclair.
And you can find me on Instagram at Abigail J. Ward.
Or... pretty please, I'm just a coward.
You're a
I would
coward.
love a 5 out of 5 star review
Okay, Michelle.
on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Most of our listeners don't even listen on those platforms, but it would be nice if you did it anyway.
Michelle, you're so small.
Oh,
you're
just
shrinking.
I'm getting even.
Michelle,
This isn't meant to be part of this. This isn't meant to be part of this.
No.
Guys, we're nerds. We're nerds. We. I think you guys get it by now.
Well, Michelle, that was The Last Thing He Wanted. No, yes.
Yes.
What are we watching next week?
Next week, we're what? Just take a moment. Take a moment. You gotta recover. Come on.
I got it.
It's just like 30 more seconds. You got this.
got this.
Just hold it together. You got this. You got this. Okay. Next week, we're watching The Bye Bye Man.
Does it look good? I mean,
what list are we fucking doing? It's a supernatural horror film from the late 2010s.
Oh, it sounds shit.
So no, it
sounds
doesn't.
shit. Release me.